What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here, bringing you another deck profile. So today I have for you not Nile Blitz, that deck profile is coming soon, but the Fire Water kind of tempo-y rush aggro deck that you guys saw in the match yesterday versus Bugs.
Yup.
So get the quick overview so you guys have the list. Got some cool stuff here. I really like how this deck functions. Like, it just looks really solid on paper. I mean, it does everything you'd want a deck to do, like on the Blurple side with Neurons and Dendrites. But instead of Darkness, you're running this super fast kind of fire section, which just adds to the rush aspect of it. And it makes it a lot of fun. So, first, to get into the water cards, we've got the Cyberlord line. 3 Sprite, because the 1-drop is super crucial for the turn 6 Dendrites and the turn 4 Neurons, especially if you can drop Neuron on turn 3 and follow it up with the turn 4 Neuron with the Sprite Neuron. So, I mean, it's just crazy stuff. Scamp, one of my favorite cards out of the new set, probably one of the best cards to come out of the new set, Shattered. Replaces stuff on field if I hit a blast early on. Otherwise, they just cannot play spells against me early. Otherwise, I just get all sorts of extra just advantage with Scamp. And even it's bad too, because you pretty much negate Piercing Judgment if you don't have a field with this card on the board, because they bounce it back, but you replace it with the creature, and now you have a hand too. So playing Piercing is almost, it is a -1 at that point if they're getting rid of Scamp, unless they're tapping something else to save a shield, but even then, it's just not the best of situations. Only one trader for space reasons. I was thinking of going 2/2 with Sprite. Let me know what you think of that. Like I said, I think the Sprite's just way more valuable for the turn plays with Dendrite and Neuron. The trader's nice, so it provides that extra 2-drop, so I can get to my Neuron faster, and lets me dig through the deck a little bit early on if need be. Seneschal is pretty standard because every game devolves into Seneschal beatdown with Seneschal and Rusalka, and we'll get to that later. Your evolution line, 2 Dendrite, 3 Neuron. Dendrite is just the absolute truth against dragons, against anything tempo. It just puts in the work. It gives you that field advantage that you need while providing a double breaker on top of that. It bounces exactly what it has to 90% of the time. It's just a beautiful, beautiful card. Getting to the other water cards, the support, we've got 3 Rusalka, 2 Finbar. Only running 2 Finbar, again, for space purposes and the fact that it's a 6-drop. I'm very rarely going to get to 6 unless all my draws working out with Neurons and Seneschals and everything. So if I do drop Finbar, it's going to be in-game, and I don't necessarily need them. This deck doesn't have to go into late game, and if it is going into late game, it's probably losing. It doesn't have the kind of, I guess, backing that Bugs have, so it makes Finbar not completely necessary, but a nice card to finish the game up with. And that final push, you drop this, push in for their last couple of shields. If they do sort of have Blast to deal with it, you've then got a hand to just final push for game the next turn. The multi-civs, which is the whole reason I wanted to build this deck in the first place. Flame Vent Diver, first off, it's a Draken, and that spoke to me immediately. It told me, like, okay, so some Fire Water Rush stuff with a Draken line might be a thing. And it worked out. You saw in the game yesterday against Bugs. I mean, it pretty much devolved into a red beatdown with this guy and Laser Arm. So providing really good support and another 2-drop for the Laser Arm as well. And it's just 3,000 power, so it's huge. With support cards like the Frostburn Quartz here, which I'm considering 2. I think 1's right for now. The power is not completely necessary across the board, but it helps against other kind of mid-range tempo decks as well as Rush too. It just lets all my stuff get over their stuff. But with Frostburn Quartz, this guy goes up to 5 grand and can bounce with the likes of Herald of Infernus, other opposing Neurons, and just get over stuff like Laws and just any other big fatties that would potentially get in its way. Then you've got a card like Flame Spitter, which is amazing utility. Fast attack on top of a Seneschal effect. This card is nuts. I really wanted to showcase this guy a little bit more in the match yesterday, but I'm definitely going to try to get some more matches with it to just show you the power that Flame Spitter has. You drop it on turn 4 after a Neuron or after just a barrage of, you know, your 2-drop and your 3-drop. Drop this guy, break a bunch of shields. You can draw 2 cards if you're turn 3 with a Seneschal, and it's just the nuts, the nutter butters, if you will. And it's just, I love this card. Like, on paper, it just seems like an amazing card, and then you play it, and it's exactly what you thought it was going to be. Like, it's just super good, excellent support, and something that fits perfectly into this type of deck. And then you've got two Scalding Surge, brought to you by Gorby. He suggested it, and I downplayed it for all of like 10 seconds before I realized it's a good decision.
Yep.
It bounces big stuff, so it's a great answer to the people who bottle into Infernus and stuff like that, and you would otherwise lose in that fashion. You can bounce back anything that has more than 3,000 power, and then it kills anything with 3,000 or less power.
Yep.
So super cool. Lets you deal with early game stuff, or should the late game threats start coming down, this guy gets rid of those, and just kind of great utility across the board again. And then the very small fire section on top of the multi-civs, you've got your Draken lines, the two Jet Flame Bodyguard to help you evolve into Laser Arm. This is the only thing I'm uncomfortable with. I don't like running them, but I needed a 1-drop for the Laser Arm. I was considering maybe just going to 1 and then upping the Frostburn or the Surge or something in the water section, something that might be a little more useful than a dead Jet Flame should I get to top decking. Because I've only got the 3 Laser Arms, it's not... I'm not so reliant on the Drakons, even though it seemed that way in the match yesterday. So, I don't know. It's just something I want to toy with. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. Maybe something I'm missing. I just kind of built this deck really fast just to play it, and it's definitely got room for improvement. The 3 Weaponsmith, because it's the next best Drakon next to Flame Vent. I was thinking about Flame Spinner, but the only card that it has to work with is Flame Spitter or Heal Flame, and Heal Flame doesn't stay on board, so Flame Spinner's pretty much a dead card for the most part, and you want to drop them on turn 2, and if you don't have the Laser Arm follow-up, you want something bigger than a Flame Spinner. So it didn't seem like a good decision to me. And then Bronca, I'm not a fan of the 2 for 2. I think the 3,000 power is a little more versatile and lets you get over things that you might want to get over in general. And then the Laser Arm Drakon, you guys know him, you guys love him, you've seen him in Fire Rush. He's there in 3s all the time. You don't not run this guy. Double Breaker on turn 3, goes up to 6,000 power, so you can get over Heralds, you can get over the stuff that you need him to get over. And with Frostburn Courts, he goes up to 7,000, which means he can get over opposing Dendrites, opposing Lyra, just opposing big stuff that might come down early, like with dragons and potential bug stuff and control stuff as well. So just the power there is super nice, and with Frostburn it's just cool stuff. And then on the same aspect, Heal Flame, it's your standard fast attacker, the run back. The bugs literally have no answer to it, and other than the in-shield root traps, and dragons generally have a pretty hard time with this guy. Any deck that's not running discard, so pretty much everything but control, just have a real big problem with Heal Flame. You just hold on to him and just constantly pick at shields, and it's just awesome. You guys know it. And that's the deck. So hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Any fixes you might have. If you've tried something like this, let me know what you got, and we'll go from there. So yeah, check out the social links below, Facebook and Twitter, all that fun stuff. And hopefully guys, we'll see you next time. Beach.
Beach.